Alright, what's up everyone? I'm here to bring you a video update on Ethereum. It is correcting, so in this video I'm going to run through some technical analysis and just kind of talk about what is happening both short-term and long-term. Is the sky falling? Is it time to panic sell everything or FOMO buy it all? Well, in this video, hopefully we're going to answer at least a few of those questions. So, folks, let's kind of delve into this first by describing. Let's turn that down a little bit. First by describing kind of what's going on, which is Ethereum was in this ascending triangle. Okay, great. We broke out bullishly. We found resistance at 1750-ish. Okay, great. So now we seem to be correcting, and we're finding support on the 6 hour. What is this? 50 EMA? Yeah, 6 hour 50 EMA. But I think most importantly, we're currently finding we're closing above the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. So this 200 EMA on the 1 hour is going to be very interesting to follow, because as we can see here, as soon as we started breaking up, this candle is exactly where we found that support. So if we start to fall below 1550 here, I think we're ready for that next leg down. I'm in a long here, by the way. Probably going to be taking profit somewhere around like the 1600-ish range for kind of like a 2% movement up, just to throw out a little bit of trading wisdom out there for a second here, guys. For those who do insist on trading, whenever you're in a trade and the trade happens to go a little bit in your favor, what you can do is you can set your stop loss. Let's say the 200 EMA was your entry, like 1550. Well, you could set your stop loss at like 1560, 1570. That way, if the trade doesn't go your way, we start to crash and go back down, you'll get stopped out in profit. So no matter what way the trade goes, you're still making money. So I highly recommend new people consider such a strategy, because if you're a new person trying to trade these markets, I mean, good luck to you. So setting your stop loss in profit when the trade starts to go your way is a great way to lock in profits and have the trade go your way no matter what happens. Because I have my stop loss in profit right now, and whether this trade goes up to 1900 or starts to crash back down to 1000, I'm still making money on this long, because I entered somewhere about here, and I set my stop loss in profit. So just a little bit of wisdom for you folks here. Now, a few things to describe here. If we fall, we kind of found support near the breakout point. The breakout point was like 1475, 1480, 1490, around that range. If we start to break below this range, I think we have a very good chance of testing like kind of the lower extremities of this green line here. Maybe this green box or this green box. We get kind of like a spike in volume in these levels as well. Very importantly, the 100 EMA on the 6 hour is right around this this green box here, which as we can see before, whenever we crash, we've kind of found support here. Here's where we found support as well on the 12 hour. We can see that the 50 EMA is also acting as support here and here, acting as support. So if we fall below the kind of hourly 200 EMA, I think we have a good chance of testing the breakout point of 475. And at that point, I think we have a good chance of falling down even further. And so if we do indeed do that, I think we're very likely to find support, at least temporary support, kind of like 1380 to 1350, with the 100 EMA on the 6 hour and the 50 EMA on the 12 hour being right about there, which is where we found support last time. We pumped and then corrected. That's exactly where we found support on these EMAs, which is sometimes going to pass. So let's just say 1400 to 1350 is where I would be looking to accumulate. So we did find support here at kind of 1550ish. If we fall back down there, I would let's say I was looking to buy into Ethereum. Right, I know support's around 1550. Different EMAs and different time frames. We kind of found support there. If we fall back down there, let's say I had $1,000 to invest. I'd put $500 there, and then if we fall back down some more, I'd wait to see if we go to 1400 to 1350, and if we do, I'd throw another $500 there. I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I'm just kind of explaining that's what dollar cost averaging is. If you see we're having a retracement, a pullback, okay, and over the long term that it's likely to continue going up, well, you could say, okay, well, we're dumping, and whenever we reach a support level, I'll throw a little bit of money in there, and if we keep dumping, next support level, I'll throw a little bit more money into there. And as well, just kind of the point of control for Ethereum is kind of like 1260 to 1200. So if we fell there, I would consider that the blessing of a lifetime. I find it highly unlikely that we fall here, although it's technically possible. Let's take a look at our indicators to kind of get a sense of what's going on, because we actually are quite overextended. Take a look here at the daily. So daily had a bullish crossover recently, and now MACD starting to tick down. Looks like we might have a bearish crossover soon. Look at this. The weighted MACD, which kind of acts like a leading indicator on the regular MACD, seems to want to have a bearish crossover on the stochastic. RSI was in the overbought region, having lower highs. The daily looks bearish, folks. We're seeing signs of some weakness. I think best case, we consolidate sideways as well. I'm going to mention some off chart things that you guys absolutely need to be aware of. Like, this is literally one of the biggest things that's happening to Ethereum specifically. So stay tuned to this channel. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. So, but let's keep talking about our indicators here, because it's important to get a sense of the trend. So look at this. 12-hour, just further confirmation of the bearish trend. Everything's going down. Bearish crossover, lower highs, lower lows, overbought going back down, MACD taking down, histogram taking down, very bearish. So the macro trend looks bearish. 6-hour bearish crossover. The only bullish thing we're starting to see is the stochastic RSI bullish crossover. And see, the stochastic is great because it's good for understanding the shifts in the trends, but not the extent to the shift in the trend. Like, so the RSI typically loves going from oversold to overbought, oversold to overbought, oversold to overbought. Now, in that oversold to overbought, as it goes, makes those impulses and those retracements, it could make a 15% move. It can make a 2% move. The stochastic RSI is great for understanding changes in trend, but not the shifts in the trend. For that you need to look at other things. But it's a very good indicator for trying to understand the shifts in the trends. And we're seeing a bullish crossover in the oversold region. So hey, we could be maybe finding support here. Makes sense. The 200 EMA on the 1 hour is right there. The 20 EMA on the 12 hours right here. It makes sense. There's support right here. Makes sense that we would get a bullish crossover. So let's keep looking down our time frames here. Try to get a better sense. See, yeah, bullish crossover. Although we keep getting these bullish crossovers and it won't go up. That's very bearish. Everything else is very bearish. The macro trend is bearish. So we're just starting to see signs of a potential, even like temporary bottom. MACD starting to tick up. It's in the oversold region. So bullish crossover on the weighted MACD. So we're starting to see. Look at that. RSI even kind of touched the oversold region, starting to go up, but could have another leg down. So in the lower time frames, we're starting to see some signs that we could be finding support, which again I think is just a reflection that we touched our EMA on these different time frames. Let's look at the hourly. Yeah, okay, see, hourly looks bullish. MACD looks like I want to have a bullish crossover soon. Half hour, bullish crossover. Okay, so guys, just to kind of summarize a bit here, is the macro trend for Ethereum looks bearish. We've been absolutely exploding, so it makes sense. We're overbought. We've had a massive run up. Whenever we have a massive run up, we're gonna have some kind of pullback. That makes sense. See, look, every time we ran up here, we had a pullback. Run up, had a pullback. Run up, had a pullback. But the entire time, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. So the macro trend is still bullish. Like, just because we have a pullback, it doesn't mean you need to panic or whatever. We could have a further pullback. So just to really describe what's kind of and summarize things a bit here for you folks. If we cannot hold kind of the 20 EMA here on the 12-hour and kind of the 200 EMA on the 1 hour, there's these different EMAs here, and in a kind of a build up in volume because of these regions here. Right around 1550. If we can't hold 1550, I think we're retesting the breakout point of like 1480, 1475. If we can't hold 1475, I think we're falling down to this green zone here, kind of 1400 to 1350. And this is where I think we're extremely likely to at the very least find temporary support in these regions here. If we cannot hold this level and kind of 1450, I think we're extremely likely to find support here. Because again, just to leave you guys with this thought is, look, last time we pumped and dumped, found support like right about there. Pumped, dumped, found support here, and as well on 12-hour. Look at this. Pumped, dumped, found support here. Pumped, dumped, found support here. So this region here, 1400 to 1350 is going to be critical support for Ethereum. That's again where I would be placing my longs, or if I was looking to accumulate. And as well, guys, another factor that we need to talk about here, we need to consider, is the fact that CME is releasing a futures platform for Ethereum this Monday, February 8th. So we are not sure how this is going to affect Ethereum. This is going to give the legacy markets, the banks, the hedge funds, an opportunity to either long or short Ethereum. And we all know, well, I mean, we not all of us know, but the futures platform for Bitcoin has often been used as a way for institutions to short the hell out of Bitcoin. So could something similar happen with Ethereum? That is definitely a possibility. We don't know how Ethereum is going to react because this has never happened before. This is the first time in history where the legacy markets get a futures platform to either long or short Ethereum. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ethereum reacts tomorrow. So be aware that this is happening February the 8th, 2021, the launch of the first Ethereum futures platform in the legacy market. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. Expect some volatility, folks. Expect some volatility. So these are kind of my short-term support areas. I think I've kind of mentioned, I think, critical support here as well. If we can get past all-time highs, I think we've been saying for a while that it's very likely that we see $2,000 Ethereum in the near future here, next month or two. And even if we correct further, I still definitely think we see $2,000 Ethereum sooner rather than later here. I think it's just a matter of time. As well, if we just kind of take the height of this ascending triangle, move to the breakout point, lines up right around $2,000. So I definitely think we see $2,000, even if we correct further. And kind of talking about my long-term price predictions, I do think this market is likely to top off sometime around the end of September, October, with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the altcoins are likely to top off roughly a month after Bitcoin. I think Ethereum has a good chance of doing roughly 10% of whatever Bitcoin does, because last time around it did that. It did roughly 10%. It did like maybe about 12. Let's say this time Ethereum reaches 10% of Bitcoin's price at the peak. So if Bitcoin goes to 100,000, I think Ethereum's going to 10. If Bitcoin goes to 200,000, I think Ethereum's going to 20. If Bitcoin goes to 300,000, I think Ethereum's going to 30. So I think Bitcoin, in following Bitcoin, is going to be a very good gauge to try to understand what Ethereum could do over the long term. So that's what's always important to keep our eye out for Bitcoin. And again, if Bitcoin decides to tank, that's definitely going to have an effect on the market. If it decides to just explode upward, I think that's definitely also going to have an effect on the market. So even if you're not in Bitcoin or heavily in Bitcoin, it's important to understand what Bitcoin is doing as well. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin dominance. I keep harping on this because it's very important, because Bitcoin dominance is a very good gauge of kind of what the altcoins have in them. For those who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is the total value of Bitcoin in comparison to the total value of all cryptocurrency. Whenever it rises, altcoins typically suffer. Whenever it falls, altcoins typically benefit. So if we see a sudden rally with Bitcoin, that should tell you that's going to place the dampers on the altcoins. If we see a sudden fall with Bitcoin dominance, that should tell you, oh, hey, the altcoins have gas in their tank to keep pumping. So it's kind of a good chart to look at to get a feel for what the altcoin market has within it. So yeah, just keep our eye out for that as well. And yeah, folks, if anything interesting happens with Ethereum, we'll definitely be talking about it on this channel and in our Discord. Link for that will be down in the description below. If you want to trade these markets, I highly encourage you guys to consider bybit. It's my favorite exchange to use when trading. Be extremely careful with leverage trading. It is very risky. Do not invest or trade anything you are not willing to lose. I highly recommend new people do not trade. If you find yourself asking, should I long or should I short this? Should I buy or should I sell this? Or when should I buy? When should I sell? That is your cue that you do not know enough to be trading, and it's just a matter of time before you lose money at trading. So if you're experienced people only, if you're an experienced person and you guys want to use like a very intuitive, Bybit's by far my favorite exchange to trade on. So I highly recommend it. Link for that will be down in the description below. As well, Tokenmetrics, guys, we use Tokenmetrics to inform our thought process and our research. It's an AI-fueled price predictions and portfolio suggestions platform. We highly suggest you check it out. They offer like a paid trial. It's like $10 for a week. Link for that will be down in the description below. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. Thanks for watching and take care.